Welcome back to the What's Up Eddie channel, Divine Therapy Sessions, and of course, I'm the one and only Eddie. So glad to have you guys back, and these are my Divine Therapy Sessions. And in today's Eddie's Life Hack, lesson number 26, we're going to talk about communication, and specifically, we're going to talk about a closed mouth never gets fed. It's an old saying that I like to use, and I use it because I had so many issues with this, and I believe it's because I remember probably getting, born onto the earth being a shy person. I was just super shy when I was a kid. And also I think programming is what developed the I would say the defect of character of not being able to ask someone for help, even when it was a detriment to me, right? So in this story, it's about a girl, right? And I love using old relationships because they teach us the most. And I remember something distinctly about this woman. It seemed like she didn't have fear. Of course, we all have that, right? But I remember it when it pertained to what this woman wanted. She always, she sounded like she knew what she wanted. She would always ask. She's the type of person that would go into the DMV, and if the lines weren't going fast enough, excuse me, are someone doing their work right now? Because I've been waiting for 5 minutes. Like, she's gonna get what she needs, right? Now, that's just an example of what came to my mind right now, but she always, even when it pertained to emotional matters, right? If I was not meeting the standard that she had, or she needed something from me, she always asked. Now, in regards to me, I never would. So I remember that I needed to make rent that month, and I had so much, right? And I still had to eat food. And I remember that, like, I was actually penny pinching as much as I could, and I still wasn't going to make it. And I was too afraid to ask my family at that time period, because I didn't have the type of relationship with them, right? I had, at that time period, I was still immersed into the low vibrational qualities that I was in at that time period, right? Which was alcoholism. And in that state, you're always in a place where you're in lack, right? So I remember distinctly, like, I was suffering, and it was self-made, right? But one of the big things that, like, I take from this story is this. I remember I finally came to a point where, like, I just needed help, and so I actually just asked her, and she said, "Oh, sure, that's fine. I have more than enough." And I was like, "I'm sure I'm, like, gonna give it back to you and stuff." And she's like, "Yeah, I know you will." And I was like, and I kind of just stopped, and I was like, "Wow, that was so easy, right?" And later on, I realized, like, it's not a big deal, right? And I took that story, that lesson learned, and two, by her behavior, right? Like, she showed me through example, like, and she wasn't abrasive. She just knew what she wanted, and she was programmed to talk about it. She was communicative, and that's the big thing right there, right? And also, I believe that, like, if something's not going the way that we want, and we're not communicating, and this is the spiritual growth, right? The spiritual evolution. A lot of the times we don't want to ask, and it's not just in pertains to, like, money, right? Asking someone for money. This could be emotional matters, relationship issues. This could be, just needing someone to talk to. Whatever the case is, a lot of the times we won't want to talk to someone else because we set up walls and parameters and boundaries for ourselves. We are infinite. Our mind is infinite. Our imagination's infinite. We can do anything. It's the limitations that we put on ourselves. And a lot of the times it's because of the wounds of the past. It's you could be dealing with someone in the present, and you're actually old programming in different relationships where you receive trauma is affecting your decisions today. And you are in a continuous state of lack because of that, right? It makes no sense. And I found myself in that paradigm. It's time to make that paradigm shift, right? Get into the next part of this. How do we do that, right? What is the practical advice that I can give you today? The only way, it has so many different dynamics, right? It's the ego death. A lot of the times it's because we don't want to say sorry, or we don't want to let go of the things that we've done in the past. So we have to save face. Forget the face, yo. Like, get in it. Do what you have to do, right? And you'll realize, I realize this, that's why I try to patch things up as quick as possible, because the longer it goes, the weirder it gets, right? The more the mind fills in the gaps. And when you allow the mind to do that, it goes into a dark places a lot of the times, because it's old programs, old wounds. When you're working from here, it'll never fail you when you're working in your heart space. I preach this all the time. I preach and I teach, baby. Work from your heart, because God, this is where you meet God at, right? A lot of times when we're up here, you go into loops, and you do that loop, and analysis paralysis starts to happen. When you get into the heart space, you take accountability for where you are, what you did, what's going on with you, because a lot of the time it's pride, right? Pride and ego are your worst enemies. Just like I said before, release your secret, ask for help, and you get on the other side of that. That is the HESCO barrier that you need to go through, and that's the whole ego death. That's what God wants for all of us, right? That's the spiritual lesson that you need. That's what's going to take us to the higher evolution of spiritual growth that we need as people. All right, guys, I got a little deep on that one, but I love you guys so much. Seriously, you guys are divine. We are all truly divine. You are all infinite. You're beautiful. You're capable of way more than you think, and you are deserving of way more than you give yourself or allot yourself. God wants the best for you. And I picked up this message a few days ago, and I'm just going to say it every time now. You are God, and God is everything. I am God, and I am everything. Let's treat each other like deities, and it will change the world, baby. I love you guys so much. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe, guys. Catch you in the next one.